Security heightened at Parliament ahead of the second and third reading of the National Protection of Sovereignty Bill. Legislators locked up in debate passed the Protection of Sovereignty Bill 2026, while NEC FC in sports, goalkeeper Hannington Sewarunyo earns Fortbet Real Stars Sport Monthly Award.
Members of the caucus unanimously agreed to support the harmonized position of government on the Protection of Sovereignty Bill.
Talking about harmonized because the lands to the people, the bill as presented attracted or generated debate across board. The leadership of NRM has listened to the input and the contribution of stakeholders, and we have accordingly harmonized the bill in line with a number of proposals made by the stakeholders while appearing before the two joint committees.
Hamson Obua, the government chief whip, says it is the same government that introduced the bill that is harmonizing the bill in line with the certificate of
President Yoweri Museveni's swearing-in ceremony next week on the 12th of May. Millie Babalanda, together with the NRM Secretary General Richard Todwong, said that 30 to 40,000 people are expected at Kolo Independence Grounds to attend the ceremony.
Security has also been heightened across Kampala and the country, with Uganda Police Force leading the operations supported by the UPDF Special Forces Command and Anti-Terrorism Units.
The theme of the swearing-in and inauguration ceremonies of the President-elect 2026 is protecting the gains, making a qualitative leap into high middle-income status.
The inauguration to be held on Friday in mosques, Saturday in...
shall be held throughout the country ahead of this significant day. Dear Ugandans, you are encouraged to attend these prayers in your respective places of worship.
Meanwhile, the NRM Secretary General Richard Todwong says at least 40,000 people are expected.
President, there is
NRM performed at 88%.
Structured in the area.
Head of Uganda's administration by the Kabaka of Uganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, on 12th of May 2013, to reshape the kingdom's governance outlook.
Administration of the kingdom regarding staff out.
While marking 13 years in office, the Katikkiro of Buganda Kingdom, Charles Peter Mayiga, points to significant milestones achieved in his term.
We also provide them with some stipend and some logistical support to enable them carry out their duties. We've been innovative, leading to increased income streams through partnerships, sponsorships, and voluntary contributions.
He notes that establishing a dependable administrative systems remains one of his key achievements, creating a more structured and effective governance framework within the kingdom.
The primary objective was to bring about mindset change. I wanted people in Uganda to know that there are certain things we can carry out ourselves, whether we have a federal system of government or not, whether we get assistance from anyone or not. And it has worked.
Other achievements span sectors like education,
held by the Kabaka's Ministry of Health and the Kabaka Foundation.
On land management, Mayiga cites the restitution of some kingdom properties from the central government.
The land that has been restituted to the kingdom is well supervised and administered by the Uganda Land Board. We haven't lost a single piece of land to land grabbers out of the land we hold as a kingdom. But it's true, some of the land is occupied by the government institution.
He raised concern over weaknesses in the national land management systems and political interference, delays in land title processing, and the slow handling of cases by the judiciary.
The land offices throughout the country
In the kingdom, Maigadimates facing resistance from some key stakeholders, including clan heads or Wataka.
Leaders are a component of that heritage. Now, the head of that heritage, the custodian of that heritage is the Kabaka. The clan head, Omutaka.
Later serving in various ministries, including youth and information, before rising to the Katikilo position. Abdunasir Lukmwa for UBC.
Parliament has passed a supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 of 1,105,163,000,000.
Communication, the Speaker of Parliament Anita Monk said they are at the tail end of the 11th Parliament. The Minister for Finance, General Duties Henry Musasizi moved a motion for Parliament to approve the supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for financial 2025-26
to Uganda shillings 1,105,163,000,000.
I beg to move that the House be pleased to suspend rules 163, 4 and 5 of the rules of procedure to enable this Honorable House to consider supplementary expenditure number 5.
Busiro County MP Medalubega Segona said Centre was not given money to develop A-level curriculum
in the budget we have just finished. They also denied UNEB 80 billion to train teachers who are going to mark senior 6, the first group that is going to sit under a new curriculum. And in their mind, they have money to organize the ceremony. Because the president can be sworn in. When he captured the power, he was sworn in here at the staircases of Parliament.
The leader of opposition, Joe Senyonyi's concern is the supplementary expenditure to Atiak Sugar Factory under the Ministry of Trade of 37.9 billion shillings and the classified budget.
Now you have a supplementary for classified 410 billion shillings. A few days to the closure of government. What are you going to do in these few days for this? About Atiak Sugar Factory, so far 668 billion shillings over the years to Atiak Sugar Factory. It's a factory I went to visit with colleagues, and there is no sugar coming out of there for the last couple of years, but every year we keep appropriating money. Now we're even bringing money through a supplementary for Atiak Sugar Factory.
Sugar Factory will start producing sugar in the month of September this year. The irrigation has ended. 2026.
Attorney General of Uganda, the Honorable Chiriowa Chiwanuka Nsumikambi Mugambe, promised on this floor, on the Hansard, that he will come to this house and table share certificates and table valuation reports for these companies. That has never happened. But government keeps coming back for more money. What are we funding?
I'm a member of Parliament like him, and I've since learned how things are brought to Parliament. Normally, entities of government, where government has invested, there is an audit act. So we send the Auditor General who...
Accused committed the offence on the 13th of September 2022 in Kampala City with the intent to defraud.
Also advising our client on the next course of action in this file.
The Archbishops agree that UCU, Uganda Christian University, this year, the contractor is going to start drilling for a solar-powered well. So we're going to have water coming out of the ground. And then we're going to erect a 50,000-litre tank, distributor tank, so that we boost the supply of national water with this additional source
of tourism, wildlife and antiquities.
The youth of faith will provide product development by establishing a structured, safe and interpretable pilgrim route linked to the Uganda matters.
The spiritual journey will end at the Uganda Matters Anglican site Namugongo, a place of deep religious and national significance. Organizers say the initiative route will be established, linking Uganda Matters site, prayers, and historical storytelling.
Must be security cautious. We shall deploy to ensure safety of all pilgrims.
The program also seeks to increase domestic participation in pilgrimage activities beyond Matters Day, while ensuring communities along the routes benefit economically. Deborah Namamon.
The Youth and Children Affairs Minister Balaam Barugahara is grateful to His Excellency the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for having appointed him among from the many to serve as Minister of Youth and Children Affairs. Balaam, who has served
no choice but rather to comb his hair, put in order his wardrobe, and take up the mantle.
In a business, you run it, you sleep, you wake up the time you want. Here in politics, you must be in office. I have 2 days of a week that I must see the public from 7 to 4 p.m. without saying I'm tired, I want to go for lunch. They will sit and they will fill your office, they fill your corridor.
Nevertheless, this has never been an easy job for a man who was picked behind musical stages to the front bench of Parliament and Cabinet.
So I haven't served for 3 years or for 4 years, so I cannot achieve everything. I cannot have tick, tick, tick. But I can say I've worked, and when I work, I'm not the one working, it's government working.
In fact, inconveniences cuts across from office to personal lifestyle, according to the self-made business mogul from Bunyoro sub-region.
In business, you spend your money as you wish. In politics, there's accountability for everything you spend. They will even channel for you how many liters of fuel you take. Yet in business, I'll go to oil Nakawa, fuel my car, drive as I want. But in politics, you have to sign the PS, what? So much inconveniences.
As he concludes the assignment in this term, Balaam is proud that he leaves no scandal behind his suit.
I don't mind if I'm not a minister or if I'm not a member of parliament. I'm a successful businessman. Onyanga, I'm a medium taxpayer. I'm not a millionaire, I'm a billionaire. I became a minister when I was a billionaire. And this is the reason why I pay taxes. Different taxes. Rental tax, pay as you earn, NSSF, import duty. I'm paying taxes. Even when I'm a minister, the companies are running. I never signed out of the companies because being a minister, I'm a tenant. I'm not a landlord. The landlord is the person with the mandate to appoint and disappoint is the president. So I remain a minister, but the business is run. The workers still know their chairman is Barugahara Balaam. So I will remain a minister. If I'm not a minister, my business is my ministry.
As the Bible says, I have chosen and risen you among the many, so go and serve my people on my behalf. Barugahara Atenyi is convinced that he has walked the talk.
So it's not about being satisfied. When I became a minister, I earn what members of parliament earn. There's no difference. My salary is the same as a member of parliament. I'm using my money all the time. You see me giving out, buying bread, giving salt, giving what. I'm using my money as
to document and restore historical buildings, museums and monuments for cultural heritage conservation. State Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities Martin Mugara told the conference that the commitment targets preserving the country's heritage. This was during the opening of the 3rd National Cultural Heritage Conference in Kampala.
And so for even when we have these sites documented, we are supposed to keep undertaking what we call condition assessment, or checking how if these buildings or heritage sites are still in the same condition, or
how do we start protecting that history.
So I return to the central question of this conference. Can we modernize without erasing our heritage? Yes, we can. And we must. But it will not happen by chance. It will require intention, it will require leadership, and above all, it will require partnership.
This gathering is both timely and necessary. It comes at a moment when Uganda's urban centers are experiencing unprecedented transformation, driven by infrastructure expansion, demographic shifts, economic ambition, and global environmental care, without erasing the very heritage that defines us. And as ministry, we reaffirm our commitment to strengthening legal and institutional frameworks. Commitment to strengthening legal and institutional frameworks, enhancing documentation and research.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya.